It was through governance I got into politics. I was invited to be part of the administration of Gboyega Daniel in 2004. It was getting into it that opened my eyes into the significance and the importance of politics in the life of people generally, particularly in our own part of the state. I was supported to run for the government, for governorship, and after that, I just came to the conclusion that there must be a reason for people coming into this world. So if one of the reasons for me to be able to impact my society and humanity through politics, so be it. And that has actually been my the driving force. Was having found myself in politics the way I find myself, I just felt that there's no point running back out of it, despite the challenges, despite the very many hurdles that one crosses. Having been around this for some time, I begin to know that voters are now more discerning, more than before, and I know it will continue to improve. So engaging them, is becoming more important than ever before. Secondly, I've campaigned in 236 wards for 3 elections, and here I am now with 21 wards, and practically the same time. And I felt that this is an opportunity for me to get to know our people better. And now I want to represent 2 local governments, 21 wards. And I felt again that it's also an opportunity for me to get to the grassroots, to know. And I told myself that I was going to talk to people in all the polling units that we have, about 383 polling units that we have in that federal constituency. So we just put them into clusters, and I engage people in those clusters. Quite honestly, I would say that I've learned more than 60-70% more about the way our people live, the kind of life they live, more than before before this campaign. It has given me an opportunity to know even my local government, even my ward where I come from, even Imeko ward. There are some parts of Imeko ward that I would say that I've not really been to. I've been hearing about them since I was young, but this is the first time that I will actually go there. Even the neighboring wards, there are parts of, Okagwede Moribata level, for instance, where my mom comes from, that I have never been to, that I got to know about this time. And now, therefore, I can feel more how people live. So I've been everywhere, and I know and I see the kind of water people drink. I see the kind of road people pass. I see the kind of life people live. And there are so many things we need to do in some of those places. There's a particular place we went, and one of the people that followed me said he lived there. This was the water they are drinking. The man is older than me. He should be like 66 years old now. This was water they were drinking when it was primary school in that place. So finding solutions to that, not necessarily from me, but alone, but even crying out to people, to state government, to local government, to federal government, that these are the kind of life people live, becomes easier for me to do now. The model of campaign actually started from wanting to engage people a lot more, but on getting into it, I discovered that there are much more important reasons for doing it, that I did not even know when I set out to do it. And one of it was getting us to know people. Now I can tell what is happening in Obele, what is happening in Yarameta, what is happening in Yakikere, Oniji, and all of those places, because we've been there, and honestly, it's a worthy exercise. Yes, as tortuous as it was, I would say that if I have my opportunity, I will even do more, because it let us know what people are actually going through. when you do world tours and you stay at the world headquarters and they bring people from everywhere with bus, with motorcycle, with everywhere, and you talk to everybody and you go, you do not know, you do not feel how people, you do not have a feel of what people, how what people are doing. I think this has given me, and it has challenged me beyond, just representation, about even other things that I feel we have to do. We say that water is life. So if people cannot even get, water, what are we talking about? Then of course we have the problem of road. Connecting ourselves within the federal constituency is a major. If we want to open our economy, if we want to expand our economy, we must at least be able to connect ourselves. Connecting ourselves is tough. Even within the same ward, in a particular ward, Sowa ward, to move from Sowa to Isiaka, we know what we went through. To move from Matale to Alarabakan, we know what we went through. To move from Alarabakan to Iwoye, to Jabata, we know what we went through. And so many other places, like that. So movement within ourselves is one major factor. I think again is that we need to utilize our land more. There are quite vast land that we have around there that can be utilized more to generate employment, because unemployment is another major problem. Graduates riding Okada, graduates involved in a lot of other businesses, being harassed all around the place by markets, by custom officers. So unemployment is also another major. And again, because we are not expanding, even businesses are not growing. Small businesses are not growing. If we are able to expand, if roles among us can even move around among ourselves, it will expand the scope of the economy. And of course, the area needs some kind of tertiary institutions that can enhance the number of people living there. And like I said, our land has to be better utilized. And the fact that we share border with Benin Republic must amount to something. It cannot just be there. Within the federal constituency, it's about 140 kilometers of land. Kilometers that we share with Benin Republic. What must that amount to? It must amount to something. We must be able to get what we need to do with some of those things. Of course, there are other things that will cause secondary. Something like a town hall, all of those ones to me are even secondary. The critical thing is that how do people even live a life? How do people even move around among themselves? How do we even generate employment? How do we utilize the things there? How do we expand on this our agric land to get into agro-allied and industrialization? How do we expand the scope of the opportunities that we have with a neighboring country, Benin Republic, who by the way, they have even a lot better infrastructure than we do. So those are some of the things that we came. Of course, hospital, and health, it's also major problem, and of course education, because when you get to some schools, you don't have teachers. There are schools with 1 or 2 teachers. There are rules that are leaking. We can see the hand of the government there, in quite a number of places. In terms of the roofing and all of that. But we need to do a lot more so that people can at least have education. People can at least have, sound education. The idea of New Deal is development-focused representation. Representation for Yewa, not Imeko, Afon. We have to do a lot more than somebody that is representing some other metropolitan constituencies, because those in the metropolis there are certain things that can be taken for granted. If you are talking about road challenges in some of those places, is of a different level. We are talking about water, maybe some few communities, but this one is pervasive, and we are having a lot of land that is unutilized, that we need to just make sure that we need to take things beyond normal representation. We are going to do everything to speak out on the floor. We are going to do everything to get the typical, dividend of democracy, as it is called, constituency projects that will address some of these things that we have said, as much as it can happen. We are going to do all of those. But over and above that is that we have to fundamentally look at the area and say that, look, what are the critical causes factor here? What are those things that we need to do here in order for us to even be able to lift ourselves from where we are? And when we get those things, the answer to those things may not necessarily all come from the public sector. So those ones that will come from the private sector, we have to find our way to reach out to them. Of course, with the connivance with collaboration of the government. But even if you are going to go to the executive to go and say something, you must at least be able to have your facts and figures. So we have to dig deeper to know some of those things, so that we can promote the things that can, we can promote those things that we know can give the place, some advantages over what we have now. So the idea of a New Deal is just to say that, oh yes, all the people that have represented the place in the past, they've all done their best. And I'm not taking anything away from anybody. You move around, you see hall, you move around, you see, road, you see bridges that have been done through some of these, my, predecessors. So I'm not taking anything away from them, but we also have to now look a bit beyond that. While all of those ones will still be done, we also have to now look a bit beyond that and say that, look, as a people, where exactly are we? How do we compare with some other areas? And what are those things that we need to put in place? We may not necessarily come from the private sector, so that we can at least be able to expand the scope of what we are trying to do there. So that is the whole idea of a New Deal. It will not worth anything taking this position if I'm not able to at least commence some of these things that we are talking about, because it is really just too important to us. That is the truth. Of course, we will have to do this with the executive, like I said. We will, for instance, have to go to the government and let the state government know that, no, maybe you, sir, Your Excellency, maybe you don't know this fact about us. Maybe you don't know this is the kind of life people are living. Maybe it is not known. Yes, there is a state master plan, there is a state visioning plan, but the state visioning plan will probably not address what we are doing there until we are able to come up with our own visioning plan to let them know that this is who we are and this is how we are living and this is what we need to do in order for us to move on. If you can have collaboration with government of China, government of some other places to develop us, I wonder what we can do with the neighboring country in order for us to co-develop ourselves. Those are some of the things we want to answer with this New Deal. And I can only tell that we are putting the things together, but it's something we want to pursue with all the vigor that we have. I thank everybody. I thank all the leaders. I thank the KBACs. I thank the Bales so much. I thank the Christendom. I thank the Muslim. I thank everybody because the support was overwhelming. We won in 18 of the 21 wards, and even the 3 that we did not win, we did very, very well, even in those 3. I thank everybody from the bottom of my heart. I won't take this victory for granted. I know it's an affirmation of the trust that people have had in me over the years. Yes, what we are looking for at those times is different from what we have now. But even for what we have now, we must also be able to impart our, the whole idea about all these things is that let us be able to impart our society and humanity while we are still on earth. And I mean, through this, we are going to try our best. I just appreciate everybody for this mandate, and we're going to do everything to ensure that we, do not disappoint our people. I continue to ask for their support. I continue to ask for their input. Some of these things that we say we are driving now, we will be approaching all the people very soon to share some of these ideas with them, so that we all can have a common objective. So thank you very much, my people. Thank you so much. I love you, and thank you very much.
I want to thank you, every single one.